put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for gathering all of us here for this activity. We ask that you bless each and every one of us here, speakers and participants alike, so that we may have open hearts and minds to share and learn from one another. May we use our knowledge and learnings today not only to better ourselves, but also for the good of others whom we encounter and serve. Help us realize the value of taking care of ourselves, in order for us to improve and serve others better. All these we ask in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Alright, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Sa lahat ng ating 91 participants. Oh wow, we have almost 100 participants for today. Good morning po. Ang pangalan ko po ay Mavi. I am a part of the Department of Psychiatry and Mental Health. And today po, we will be having a webinar with our speaker, Dr. Edgardo Juan L. Tolentino Jr. So, ang atin pong webinar today ay, sorry, naririnig po ba ako? Ma'am Yvette?
Yeah.
Po, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dinig po. Dinig ka po.
Thank you po. Sorry. Ulitin ko lang as you've seen kanina doon po sa ating webinar rules, yung mga microphone po sana natin is paki-mute lamang po para hindi natin maistorbo yung ating lecturer. As well, yung camera po natin. Naintindihan ko po, most of us are on duty today. Wala po sanang gumagalaw, palakad-lakad, or pakitutok lang po yung camera sa ating mga mukha. Okay po? So, later we will be having a question and answer para kung sakaling meron po kayong mga tanong, mga bagay na gustong i-clarify, o mga reactions tungkol sa ating lecture, pwede nyo pong gawin yon para naman po hindi po muna sana matakpan yung mga question ninyo. Pwede nyo pong isulat muna sa mga notebook o kaya sa cellphone, tapos i-type po natin kapag Q&A na po. Pwede rin naman kung gusto nyo po na sabihin ninyo mismo yung question ninyo, you may use the raise hand function para po doon. Kung uncomfortable naman po kayo na magsalita, pwede nyo pong i-send directly sa akin yung question ninyo. Okay? Sige po. So to start, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. So our speaker for today earned his medical degree from the University of Santo Tomas Faculty of Medicine and Surgery. He took his residency training in psychiatry at the Makati Medical Center, a lecturer at the Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health. He is also an international fellow of the American Psychiatric Association and a founding and active member of the International Society of Addiction Medicine, a former president of the Philippine Psychiatric Association, a former president also of the Group Addiction Psychiatrists of the Philippines, as well our former chairman of the Department of Psychiatry and Mental Health here at Quirino Memorial Medical Center. I would like to give the floor to our speaker for today, Dr. Edgardo Juan L. Tolentino Jr. Good morning po, Doc.
Morning and thank you, Mag. Maraming salamat. Good morning, everyone. Allow me to just share my slides for this morning. So, very apt po yung topic natin. Just to give you a general information, nun pong nakaraang, well, pwedeng ongoing pa rin, pero the peak of the pandemic, nakita natin yung nag-bear fruit itong mga lectures on identification of mental health in the workplace because tumaas po ng 300% ang utilization ng ating HIP-HOP, yung Health Employee Assistance Program, Healthy na pa, no? Which shows that ang mga ating kawani have become really more open and caring about their mental health issues. Kung ano man, and would seek help. So hopefully, yun po yung general purpose kung bakit patuloy pa rin po yung aming pagle-lecture tungkol na sa identifying mental health in the workplace. So today, we entitled it Mind Matters, Nurturing Mental Health in the Workplace. A good place to start is really defining what is mental health. So, mahalagang pag-usapan ito, and as you could see, mental health is not just the absence of a disorder. Mental health is a state in which a person is able to fulfill an active functioning role in society, number one, is able to interact with others, and kung meron mang difficulties or adversities, able to overcome it without suffering major distress or disturbed behavior. Hindi ho sinasabing hindi tayo makakaranas ng mga difficulties, no? Ang importante is how we are able to manage it, no? Which is in fact part of resilience. At pag pinag-usapan naman ang mental health, no? Ano raw ba ang mental health? No? It's a positive sense of well-being. So examine nyo na po ang sarili natin. Tignan natin, do I have this? Second, you have the individual resources, including proper self-esteem, optimism in the light of problems or stress, a sense of mastery and coherence, and also the ability to initiate, develop, and also sustain mutually satisfying personal relationships. Napakahalaga po yan. And the ability to cope with adversity. So if you notice, actually, itong definition ng the third part is the definition of being resilient. Okay? Yung mental illness naman, we don't just call stress or distress a mental illness, no? It has to be a health issue which can significantly influence either feeling, thinking, or behaving of an individual. So it is commonly used to refer to a diagnosable condition, whether we follow DSM-5 or ICD, ngayon 11 na po, no? So, ang example nito, mood disorders, kasamang depression or bipolar disorder, anxiety. disorder. So, hindi lang po anxiety kasi lahat po tayo nakakaranas ng anxiety. Ngunit disorder dapat. So, it could be generalized anxiety disorder. Yung mga iba, yun ang galing sa trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, or yung ibang anxiety, very common sa Filipinos, yung social phobia. Or it could be some psychotic disorder, and one of the most common is schizophrenia. So, is it common, no? In hospitals in particular? In a recent study of 740 interns no, across 13 U.S. hospitals, they found that incidence of depression rose from just 3.9 to 27% in the first 3 months of their intern year, and that interns' thoughts of death increased as much as 370%. Yes, this is an old data, 2010, but we will see, and we know that a lot of these things increased over the height of the pandemic. There's actually no clear data yet on rates of trainee suicide. So yung mga suicides sa trainees. Now, I know that these are data for physicians, but the reason why I'm also presenting, as you will see, is that among all physicians, men are 1.4 times more likely, and women 2.27 times more likely to die by suicide than their counterparts in the general population. Ngunit, and this is yung data sa suicide in the US, no? The number of doctor suicides from 28 to as much as 40% is more than 2 times that of the general population, which is just 12.3 per 100,000. And the reason why we're reaching out today is to be able also to detect untreated or undertreated depression and other mental conditions, because yun yung pinaka-common na cause ng suicide. No? Next. There's a reality that we are currently aware of in the healthcare system. And if you use public health terms, it could be considered an epidemic. Tingnan nyo to. This is still in 2015, and they already found over 50% of physicians being burned out. The nurses, 33% of newly registered nurses, this is in the States, seek another job within just a year. According to another 2013 report, the turnover is up and morale is down. Para lang natin makita both burnout in red and in dark blue, yung depression. This is how it has been increasing from 2018, when this is coming from Medscape, when they started recording, okay, and studying burnout and depression amongst physicians, no? As you could see, ito ng pandemic, no? 2020, okay, bumaba at the beginning, siguro relax pa. Pero by 2021, pataas na naman, both depression and burnout. Nag-peak just last year, 53% of physicians had burnout, and almost a fourth had depression. Mataas po yun compared to the general population. Tapos bumababa na ngayon, 2024, but this is still early. No? So far, ang na-record nila, 49% for burnout and 20% for depression. So mataas po. Ang problema is that there is seemingly, meron nga ba ng association? Pinag-uusapan natin ng burnout. Does it affect patient safety, professionalism, and also patient satisfaction? So I'm sharing this systematic review and meta-analysis with you. It is based on 47 studies of burnout and looking at patient safety, and they found out that Burnout is associated with increased risk of patient safety incidents, lapses in professionalism, and lower patient satisfaction. Therefore, talagang kailangan nating punahin ang physician burnout and burnout within the workplace. Kasi nangyayari din particularly to us in the hospital, working in the hospital. Now, although mga doctors ang pinag-uusapan, tignan natin. Ito, a study of ng MDVIP. This is a national network sa US composed of primary care physicians, etc. So they commissioned Ipsos, ang dami ng research ng Ipsos during the pandemic, for them to understand the experiences and practices of internists, family doctors, and even GPs. Okay, with regard to their own health. At nakita nila that number one, 3 out of 4 doctors report not getting enough sleep, 76%, or even not enough exercise, 75%. No? Ang sinasabi nila is because of their heavy workload. Over half, tinginan na tayo to the left and to the right, if are overweight and obese. So, mahalaga rin po yan. And 60% say the demands of the job prevent them from making optimal food choices. Nakakalungkot. Bakit malaking emphasis sa workplace mental wellness? No? Because it will lower the total medical cost. Alam naman natin, mental health will also affect physical health. It will decrease disability costs. It will improve workplace relationships. It will increase the loyalty and retention in our hospital because alam na inaalagaan ang mga employees. No? It will increase productivity as well as motivation. It will reduce both absenteeism at yung tinatawag na presenteeism. Present ka nga, ngunit absent yung utak. Hindi nasa trabaho yung pagkatao. And of course, hopefully, as a result of us talking constantly about mental health, it will increase diversity, acceptance of any individual in the workplace with mental health issues, as well as respect for each other. So, what do we do about mental health? What do we know? Sa DOH mismo, they conducted a big study. Etong isi-share ko is the data from the NCR. No? And they looked at the different government employees, CASHO, DOJ, DOH, DepEd, etc. No? And they found out that 32%, about a third of those who were the respondents, have experienced a mental health problem within their lifetime. Mataas po yun. Ang number one pong lumabas sa study na to was anxiety problems. Number two, believe it or not, was substance use, which is primarily alcohol. And number three, ang depression. So, importanteng seryosohin po natin because mataas po. Okay? Although that's 2006. Okay? The problem though, although this is Canadian data, stigma continues to prevent people from seeking treatment help. Lalo na sa Philippines, yung hiya, no? I think that this is time with the Mental Health Act na it is your right, in fact, to seek help pagka may problema. Siguro makiki-off lang ng mic. Then the other sources of stress is very similar to the Philippines. Financial concerns, mataas, not having enough time for oneself, other family issues, common in the Philippines, as well as personal and other issues. Okay? Alam naman natin, meron tayong EAP, which we call hip-hop. So, there's sa kanila, ang taas ng utilization as much as 6.2%. Now, what do we also know? Ang pinaka-common po sa workplace would be depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. Wag na po natin tignan yung shabu, etc. Mas common na substances sa workplace are both alcohol as well as nicotine, or nowadays vaping. No? Most often, ang mga affected, this is Canadian data though, but I think very well represented in the Philippines, yung 24 to 44 years old. And a lot of it has to do with putting a work-life balance. No? Nadadala yung trabaho, yung problema sa bahay, sa trabaho, at opposite, no? Trabaho nadadala sa bahay. Okay. So let's know now how to detect mental health problems in the workplace. So shout out dito sa mga supervisors, medical field, yung mga training officers, care ng mga different departments, no? Mga managers, HR, very important na mag-pick up ito. Ang pinaka-early, no, warning signs that an employee is struggling with a mental health issue. Remember, itong i-share ko are still non-specific. Para lang ma-pick up natin na may possibility na may mental health issue. Ayan, lateness or frequent breaks away from office. Excuse me. Excessive sick leave. Excessive ang keyword, no? Pwede namang sick leave, pero yung excessive sick leave and presenteeism, like on-the-job absenteeism, na-explain na natin earlier, reduced quality of work, okay? The high rate of accidents, whether within the workplace or outside the workplace. So, I'm also the psychiatrist of Philippine Airlines, and any accidents, kahit hindi sa workplace, pag dinala po sa mga hospitals where PAL is associated, usually kompleto ang test, including drug test, to make sure na hindi related sa sa alcohol or other drugs. Withdrawal or avoidance from colleagues, yung mga kasama, nag-iisa na lang kumain, etc. Ayaw kasama yung co-workers. Employee errors increasing, missing deadlines, changes in physical appearance, padungis, medyo may amoy, no? Confusion or forgetfulness, that might be worse, no? Okay. Having employee conflict, we have to look into the possibility of some mental health issues, or having inappropriate behavior, clothing, having mood swings, or even constantly having a negative attitude, which can go to the range of talking about suicide as if, that's the right thing to do. Actually, speaking of which, pagka pinag-isapan ng anyone regarding suicide, that should never be taken as a joke or taken in a light-hearted manner. Just as there is no such thing as a bomb joke in the airport, in the workplace, any mention of suicide should be taken seriously. So, ito po, importante siguro to because we need to see how it may appear to us, the coworker. This is what depression feels for somebody who has depression. So they will have deep feelings of sadness. Paano natin madidetect? You will notice that because yun nga, they will withdraw from the team and you will see them as isolating themselves. Losing interest in work or social activities for somebody who might be depressed. And to us co-workers, we will see it as indifference sa kanyang work. Having, difficulty in concentrating or slowed thoughts, makikita natin to as putting things off, missing deadlines, or even because absent-minded, nagkakaroon ng accident. To the individual with depression, they will be forgetful, they will have trouble remembering, And unfortunately, from outside looking in, we see this as being scatterbrained or absent-minded. So, trouble making decisions is what the depressed individual might feel. To us, observing, it could be procrastination, being indecisive, or slowed down in their productivity. Okay? Trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, ang nakikita natin is they might be late for work or by afternoon super tired na they need to actually sleep. And of course, the possibility of accidents because hindi sila nakatulog, which will affect cognition, thinking, physicality, yung energy, etc. No? And of course, emotion. Then, pagka inside somebody who's depressed, they may start feeling worthless or inappropriate. Dun sa atin, who might be observing, we see it as being unsure of their ability or the lack of confidence. Yung energy loss or increased fatigue sa individual experiencing depression, ang nakikita ng mga managers or co-workers is they are detached or they have low motivation, yung laging madaling magalit or possibly bigla na lang naiiyak approach natin, we might see it as inappropriate reaction kasi na ang saya-saya ng grupo, bigla na lang siya umiiyak. And that may in fact strain relationships kung hindi natin naiintindihan. And to the individual, because nawawalan sila ng gana kumain, so usually there could be weight changes and of course appetite changes. And we could see this. We need to observe kung meron mang pumapayat. Oh, by the way, pwede rin yung change in appearance tumataba because some make use of eating as a way of coping. So, tandaan natin, it could go either way. So we need to be able to identify mental illness, and the key word is it has to be identified early. Okay, and it will be a disturbance, as we mentioned earlier, in thinking, mood, or behavior, cognition, emotion, and action. No? This is associated, kailangan, with distress or functional impairment. So, hindi po lahat ng disturbance in thinking, mood, and behavior kailangan mental illness. No? Sometimes nag-a-adjust lang. Okay? Pero pagka functional impairment or distress, no, from mild to severe, then all of these things combined identifies a mental illness. And it could happen to all, okay? Mental illness may affect people from personal, social, and even financial level. Kaya nga natin kailangan try to pick up. Unfortunately, mahirap, no? We're not always able to detect mental health problems in the workplace. Why? Because for now, nandun pa rin yung fear of losing your employer's respect or your boss's respect, fear of losing your job, fear of not being promoted, fear of being isolated or shamed by coworkers and colleagues, no? The fear of asking for any accommodation or nakakahiya kung ako special treatment, the fear of long-term career goals being affected, and generally the fear of admitting to any illness, especially if mental health in nature. Okay. So, mabagal ang ating ano. So, kung clinical, pwede nating i-screen, unahin po natin yung screening for anxiety. No? Anxiety is rather common. This is again a Philippine data. 9% of men, ang taas po niyan, and 16% of women are affected. And the different types of anxiety could be generalized anxiety disorder, okay, specific phobias. Yan, mataas sa Pinoy ang different phobias. Phobia sa sa dilim, phobia sa insects, etc. etc. PTSD, wala tayong data. Social phobia, napakataas din yung fear of going into a crowd, fear of being left with people in a party situation, etc. OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, 1.8%, as well as panic disorder, less than 1%. So for us to screen, let me share with you the GAD-7 or Generalized Anxiety Disorder 7-question tool, no? I'll go right into it para makita natin yung mga questions. Kung gusto nyo, you could follow and examine yourself. Ang scoring po nito, umpisa natin. Over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Feeling nervous, anxious, or edge? You score yourself as 0 if not at all. Score 1 is several days of the last 2 weeks. 2 if more than half the days in the last 2 weeks. And 3 ang score nearly every day. So feeling nervous, not being able to stop or control worrying too much about different things, trouble relaxing, being restless that it is too hard to sit still, becoming easily annoyed or irritable, feeling afraid as if something awful might happen. Ang perfect score, meaning sure na and severe, yung generalized anxiety is 21. Ang score for referral, if you scored 10 at least and above, it's important to seek professional help. Okay. Next, how do we help others? No, obviously with depression and anxiety, always assess the risk of suicide and or harm. When you do listen, walang judgment, accepting lang tayo. Wala yung, ba't mo ginawa yan? No, you're listening as a helper. Okay, so no judgment. Give reassurance and information that they have a real medical condition, that it is very common, nakita naman natin. Anxiety is not a weakness or a character defect. Effective help is available, especially in QMMC. We have one of the oldest programs that helps in hip-hop. Isa sa pinaka-matagal at well-established na program na for addressing mental health and other problems. And skills can be learned to reduce the effects of stress on anxiety, especially tinuturo ko namin once you are referred also to us. And of course, encourage the person to get professional help. After all, it's readily available. Magpapaschedule lang sa ating QMMC Department of Psych and Mental Health Office. No? Encourage other support. No? First, yung pinaka-closest mong workmates or family members. No? But it could also take other forms like reducing coffee, medyo sa mga anxious, especially strong coffee. Exercising, nakakatulong kasi nadadivert yung worry sa exercise. Engaging in leisure activities, including just simply, walking around outside. No? Deep abdominal breathing, okay? And support groups. And pagka medyo may marami na pong nakakaranas nito sa hospital, we can, in fact, come up with a support group. Okay. Then we go into screening and managing depression. By the way, yung GAD-7, as well as itong susunod ko pong i-share sa inyo, are self-screening. So you could Google GAD-7, and in this case, for depression, pag-uusapan natin kung anong screening naman. And do it yourself. Hindi pa ho yung diagnosis. That's the reason why pagka umabot ng 10 and above yung score, then magpapadiagnose sa isang mental health expert. In the workplace, depression, as we saw, ranks among the top three workplace problems. 3% of total short-term disability days are due to depressive disorders, and in 76% of those cases, the employee was female, only because may propensity because of part of this is biological, which is, for example, yung mga changes sa hormones. So usually pagka very menopausal or around the during the menstrual period, nagkakaroon ng changes in emotions and usually depression. Almost 50% of those suffering from severe depression, mataas po ito, may die by suicide. Kaya nga, ganun na lang po kaimportante ang detection ng depression para hindi po umabot sa suklilan. No? This is what I want to share with you, the PHQ-9, okay? Patient Health Questionnaire 9. It is a self-rating screening tool to detect depression. No? So, i-note down nyo lang po ito. You could check yourself if you're feeling a little on the downside. No? So, similar yung starting question, over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Similar din po ang scoring, 0, not at all, 1, several days, 2, more than half the day, and 3, nearly every day. Ito po yung mga 9 actual symptoms ng depression. Sa amin po, hindi po si depressed ka lang, ito, ay clinical depression. Hindi po. You have to fulfill at least 5 out of the 9 questions. No? And it should be sustained over 2 weeks, and it will cause dysfunctionality. This is a short screen to pick up if you might have that. So very quickly, little interest or pleasure in doing things, and feeling down, depressed, or hopeless are the core symptoms of depression. Meron pong tinatawag na PHQ-2, either of this lang mag-i-start pagka wala ka talagang time. But this all will just take 2 minutes. Trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much, feeling tired or having little energy, susunod dyan, having poor appetite or overeating, feeling bad about yourself or that you are a failure or have yourself or your family down. Ito po yung cognitive symptom ng depression, trouble concentrating on things, even just simply reading the newspaper, watching TV, moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so fidgety and restless that you have been moving around a lot more than usual. And the important life-saving question, having thoughts that you would be better off dead, or thoughts of hurting yourself in some way. Highest score, which means severe depression, is 20 to 27. Moderately severe is 15 to 19. So from 10 and above, 10 to 14 is moderate. So that is the cutoff again. 10 and above, you need to seek professional help. If you want simple techniques also, even if mild, makakatulong din to seek help. So, there are some protective factors, and let's share with them these things with you. Being connected to family or school, excuse me, having family responsibility for children or family communication patterns, kung malalapitan mo sila, having personal resilience and good problem-solving skills, okay? Good physical and mental health, being integrated to your community or workplace or social integration is another one. Having some spiritual or religious faith or a sense of meaning and purpose in life will be protective. And of course, the belief that suicide is wrong. So seek help muna. And lack of access to guns or other possible poison in the home environment. Okay. How do we communicate? Again, nabanggit na natin, avoid making judgmental comments. If you need to express dissatisfaction or criticism, do it in a loving, constructive way. Even the tone of voice is important. Communicate clearly, concisely, as well as consistently, staying calm and relaxed, because working in an environment that is safe, supportive, tolerant, and accepting will give the person who feels depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues their best chance of recovery. But don't put too much pressure on yourself to achieve perfection. And kaya nga tayo may tip-up, if you as a manager, okay, or HR notice that and you feel that you may not be the person to be able to communicate properly, either because you yourself are undergoing some problems, etc., then you could refer them to tip-up. In the workplace, these are some of the steps that we can take. Obviously, and this has worked for Quirino, constantly provide educational as well as support solutions for both physical and mental health to prevent presenteeism. Prioritize mental wellness in workplace health programs. Kaya wala pong dumadaang taon sa QMMC na hindi namin pinag-uusapan itong topic na ito. No? As much as possible, early intervention is crucial. And pinakamaganda po nito is kung tayo, because of our self-care, etc., ma-pick up natin ang feeling depressed or feeling anxious, etc., magpapaseek ng help already. Because delayed care will likely be more expensive, and the high cost of the months or years of lost productivity due to unaddressed issues can in fact be significant. Sayang, because treatable naman po at madali namang mag-treat ito pagka maaga pa po ang consultation. Ito po, shout out sa ating frontline managers, supervisors, the HR din. You have a key role in identifying issues within the workplace because you are the first point of contact when an individual is already feeling stressed or ill. Okay? So, mahalaga, nakikita nyo, you look, importante, tinitignan natin sino yung mga may changes, whether in performance, in attitude, in behavior, even in appearance. So, ensure that managers are trained to identify and communicate effectively with employees who may be showing signs of distress pa lang. Hindi pa na, on your level, hindi para kayo mag-diagnose. So kung may signs of distress, at yun yung first slide natin sa identification, okay, do so without judgment and with utmost empathy. What else can we do sa workplace? Educate as well as normalize the conversation. Ensure that supervisors can recognize symptoms of mental health issues na pinag-usapan natin. And this is already part of your training. If you want further training, we could also provide that. Employees who return to work may also need some accommodations to help them successfully reintegrate into the workplace. So usually, pagka sinasabi naman namin na may go back to work, we also suggest possible accommodation. Kung pwedeng ease muna into the work, etc., para lang they can be successful in sa reintegration. Yung fellow employees, you can help, no? Bring any and all workplace stress to the attention of your manager or employer. If there are workplace factors, including unrelenting or unreasonable deadlines or workloads, the lack of resources, physical factors like lighting, noise, workstation placement. Nowadays, siguro importante rin ang ventilation, gawa ng init, no? That is causing stress. Ask to work together to address and solve these issues, no? So, hindi lang po tayo aasa sa management, isipin din po natin ano rin ang ating magiging ambag para magkatulong-tulungan tayong lahat. Tapos, overall, we all need to create an environment that promotes wellness. As a coworker, educate yourself, no? Treat people with respect, anyone. Guess you may mental health problems, etc. No? Be respectful of the language that we use, even in our jokes. No? Emphasize abilities, not their limitations. So ang tinitignan natin, hindi yung kanilang sakit, pero yung mga positive na contribution nila sa ating workplace. And refer to the person, not the illness. No? So person living with depression, person living with anxiety, ganun na po ang politically correct. Hindi yung depressed person or anxious person kasi siya. Sa yung tao muna bago yung sakit. Confront stigma, either as a manager or coworker, okay? Immediately let people know when they express a stigmatizing attitude or an opinion. Kailangan talaga yung ating environment, lalo na sa hospital, hindi acceptable po yung just talking slowly about something or a person with mental health concerns. Support any coworker who might have a mental health condition. Learn and promote mental health policies and programs which are available in our workplace. No? Okay. And tandaan po natin, meron na pong batas, yung Republic Act 11036 that promotes mental conditions even in the workplace. So under Section 25, ito po yung mental health promotion and policies in the workplace. Employers shall develop appropriate policies and programs on mental health in the workplace designed to raise awareness on mental health issues, correct stigma and discrimination associated with mental health conditions, identify and provide support for individuals at risk, and facilitate access of individuals with mental health conditions to treatment and psychosocial support. Okay. Ito po ay already translated by the Civil Service Commission into a department order. So ending na po tayo. These are the some of the top 3 initiatives. So in our workplace, let's all reduce stigma, improving mental health literacy in our organization, establish any peer support group. We can do that through the hip hop. Improve early detection by what we did today, training hopefully the supervisors, managers, and co-workers, in fact, to recognize early symptoms. But as I said, pinaka-ideal is self-referral when you feel that you need it. No? Congratulations, in fact, sa ating mga kawani, because during the pandemic, ang taas po ng mga self-referrals sa ating hip-hop. No? So, which means na-recognize ng ating mga kawani kung meron silang mental health issues at maaga silang hinihingi ng tulong. Provide and assessment tools katulad ng GAD-7 and PHQ-9 and incorporate creative incentives including respecting privacy and utilize our hip-hop or services. No? Nandyan yan para sa ating lahat sa UMMC. So, I'd like to end with self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you. You are indeed enough. Maraming salamat.
Yan. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Tolentino, for that very insightful lecture po. So, again, diba, katulad nga, it is very, very important, to detect and address the mental health issues in the workplace or yung within your team, kung sa team nyo lang, kung maisip nyo ganon, diba? So, it's very important to promote a culture of well-being by responding to the mental health needs of your employees. So, yung mag-foster kayo ng effective communication and all that. As well, utilize yung mga resources nyo. For example, yung nga meron tayong dito sa QMMC, yung hip-hop, nabanggit nga ni Dr. Tolentino na medyo maganda yung naging response natin during the pandemic. Maraming lumapit dito. So, nakita namin na medyo nare-reduce na yung stigma with the mental health. Alright, now, we are very open na po to questions, clarifications, any reactions, kahit violente pa po yan, tatanggapin namin. We have a question here, Doc. So, how do we refer to hip-hop?
Okay, maganda pong tanong yan at napakahalaga na itanong yan during a forum like this. There are two ways, no? Ang una po, ang pinakamaganda in fact, yung tinatawag nating self-referral. So anytime that you feel you might profit from talking to one of our professionals in the department, no? Ang makakatulong po kung tatawag lang kayo, talk to any of our or if you want to in person drop by sa ating Department of Psychiatry and Mental Health. Pwede rin kung in person kayong So any of those possibilities, pwede kayong i-schedule with one of our psychiatrists. By the way, lahat po ng psychiatrists natin are already diplomates, and not only diplomates, also fellows of the Philippine Psychiatric Association. The second though, yun yung medyo mas mahirap. Hindi naman mas mahirap, pero it is what we call the involuntary referral. Kaya mahalaga itong lecture na identifying mental health issues kung si manager or HR, etc. ay makapuna nung sinabi natin na either behavioral, yung performance, absent lagi or late lagi, or ang haba-haba ng lunch break, no? Attitudinal, okay? Or even appearance na changes, no? And also with behavior. Then, it's important, meron tayong form. I think na spread out namin yung form na yon. Wherein, importante kasi gusto ho natin wala masyadong bias, no? So, isusulat ni manager lahat ng observations, no? Yun nga, whether attitudinal, behavioral, performance, etc. Okay, why they are referring. Just note, it has to be contemporaneous. Ibig sabihin, ngayon nangyayari, okay, or in the last week, etc., continuous na nangyayari. Kasi nga, hindi pwedeng chismis. Nangyari last year, nangyari kung kailan, especially kung nag-improve na yung tao, no? So, it has to be contemporaneous. It has to be objective. Nakikita dun sa sinabi nating parameters, no? Tapos, sa sign-on ni manager, and as much as possible, you get somebody from HR to co-witness and sign. Para talaga, binabawasan po talaga natin yung bias, no? Especially if it's involuntary. Why is that important? No? Sometimes, okay, it might be that there has been kagagamit lang ng substances, for example, either pumasok na laseng or something. Kailangan na the document yun. No? Now, I will extend the response to how do you now refer. So based on that, okay, kung merong suspicion, kunyari, kasi amoy tiko, kasi nakatulad doon, red eye, tapos amoy hiko, so malamang alcohol yon. Then we could immediately send to the lab to do blood alcohol concentration levels, no? Para documented objective talaga, no? Tapos, yun nga, ipapadala rin sa amin. Now, the confrontation procedure is you will para nalalaman din nung employee, okay? Ito yung na-notice namin na nakikita namin, you've been pang-ilan mo na itong ngayon nag-late ka, tapos on top of being late, nagsusigaw ka, so inappropriate behavior, amoy chiko ka, pumasok ka na mukha kang lasing, mapula yung mata mo, etc. We would like to refer you for further assessment and help because the Hip Hop is a helping program. No? So kami, bahala to help the individual. Assess kung meron talagang alcohol problem, then we help them, there are medications, or kung masyadong chronic na yung problem, perhaps rehabilitation, etc. Until the idea, and this is important for all to understand and appreciate, the idea is masasalba yung trabaho, so makabalik. Because we know that each and everyone trained hard, nagkaroon ng experience over the years para yung sa trabaho niya. No? So sayang naman kung isipain lang. No? So it's important to help the individual. At pag ready na, ma-reintegrate, ibabalik namin. Generally, if it's alcohol or drug problem, for the rest of their employment years in Quirino, they will commit to undergoing testing, no? Anytime. So pwedeng i-challenge any single time at kung mag-positive pa ulit, that's the only time na makikick out sa trabaho. No? I hope medyo na ano, but kung meron pa rin mga questions within the response, please go ahead para ma-clarify pa natin further. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Doc, meron pa tayong ilang questions dito. Medyo
Sure.
madami yung nagtanong. So,
Sure.
yung isang question, Doc, how and when should you suspect malingering? And how can we address this among our employees?
Okay. Ang malingering, let's ano para we're on the same page. Yung parang umaarte na ano, no? Actually, natanong ito, I did a lecture 3 weekends ago sa Cardinal Santos because they are also having a crisis sa mga residente nila gusto mag-quit. And one of the consultants, in fact, asked, yung mga kabataan, parang ang hirap ng ma-pick up kung, yun nga, nagmamalinger lang at ginagamit ang mental health as their issue, na may mental health issue. Kaya nga po, if you notice, sa aming diagnostic criteria, hindi pwedeng isa lang symptom. It is combined with several, like for depression, 5 out of the 9 symptoms. Number 2, extended. Hindi lang nangyari one time, okay? Paulit-ulit. And usually, in depression, for example, kailangan over 2 weeks. Number 3, kailangan may effect sa functionality. Okay? Whatever, role function. Either role niya as a father or mother, role niya as an employee of Quirino, or even sa personal roles niya. Hindi niya na-fulfill. No? So, yun po, hindi lang natin titignan yung isang symptom na sinabi niya na ganito. No? Pangalawa, there are certain issues na hindi natin iti-take for granted kung malingering or totoo. And that is, which I mentioned earlier, ang pinag-usapan ang suicide. It will be taken seriously. Okay? And pagka-suicide kasi, talagang it becomes one of the few psychiatric emergencies. So kung naglolo ko siya, sorry, but we have to send you because it's an emergency, perhaps sa ER, or kung office hours, pwede naman sa office ng psychiatry and mental health. Okay? So, magdadalawang isip yung supposed malingerer kung talagang gagawin niya yun. No? But kung nabanggit niya yung one of the keywords at gamitin niya ang suicide, that should be taken seriously. Dadalhin talaga siya sa ER or sa site for further evaluation. Okay. I hope na clarify yun. No? So hindi pwedeng one act lang with the act maligani. Importante, it should be connected with other observations and behaviors, etc.
Okay, Doc. The next question, Doc. Mayroon po ako, kakilala na mayroong pinagdadaanan. May nangyari po kasi sa kanya. Paano ko po kaya siya matutulungan na manghingi po ng tulong? Kasi sa tuwing tinatanong ko po kung okay lang ba siya, kung anong pwede kong itulong, lagi lang niya po ang sagot ay okay lang ako. Pero nagsasabi po siya paminsan na hirap na ako at ano kaya mawala na lang ako.
Okay. Sa isa sa aming mga offerings also sa QMMC, particularly during the pandemic, ilang beses namin linecture to. Yung sa psychological first aid, naalala niyo po ba? There are 3 principles. Letter L lahat. Look, listen, and link. Okay? Just to quickly review. Look, unahin nating tignan sa ating coworker, sa mga kasama natin, yung pinaka-vulnerable. Lalong-lalo pa, like in your case, nalaman mo na may pinagdaanan recently, malamang siyang mangangailangan ng kausap, etc. Dun sa listen part, pangalawa, letter L, it is not us giving solutions. So for example, buti nga nag-o-open sa iyo, no? Pwede mong i-push yung yung usapan hindi lang sa what are you feeling about dun sa nangyari, etc. Maganda rin i-push ng konti. So anong ginagawa mo to cope with the situation? Okay? So if you notice yung question, hindi ikaw ang mag-aabiso na gawin mo to, gawin mo yan, gawin mo yan. Hindi. Siya ang tatanungin natin. Tapos nakikinig tayo kung ang kanya mga coping ay positive coping or negative coping. Umpisa ako sa negative coping. Ay dinadaan ko na lang sa pag-iinom. Dinadaan ko sa sleeping pills para makatulog, etc. Those are negative coping. Or kinakain ko na lang. So tumataba. It could be a negative coping. Positive coping, ito. Yung isa pa ko, o di kaya sinubukan ko ito, no? You need to listen and encourage yung mga positive coping. No? Pagka mas maraming negative coping, that's when we connect with the last L, which is link. Alam mo, meron tayong programa which is confidential, helping, etc., composed of professionals, diplomates and fellows pa. Baka gusto mo, madali lang at saka pwede namang confidential. Gusto mo ba? Something like. So don't forget the link part. So if it goes beyond you, then connect with us. And we assure you, as we have helped, as I mentioned, a lot during the pandemic. We continue helping throughout, and we're one of the longest programs such as that in any hospital, both of the DOH and in the private sector.
Oh, so we have another question for you. Thank you for that. How can we reduce the stigma surrounding mental health problems in the workplace?
Thank you very much. And ang keyword dyan is normalizing the conversation. If you are a leader, okay, training officer, HR person, manager, etc., be open about even your own personal struggle. Para ma-normalize. Lahat pala tayo meron ganon. Eh kung si boss may ganon, eh tayo pa, di ba? So normalize the conversation. No? Walang ano. And our attitude, pakita din natin na yung attitude natin is positive, no? Para magkaroon ng safe environment, safe place. When I'm in QMNC, it is something that is okay to talk about. It's not taboo. Okay, and we back it up because yun nga, of all hospitals, tayo ang merong katulad nito, yung hip hop na to. We have constant lectures like this on mental health topics, iba-iba, kasi substance abuse, mental health in the workplace, yung CFA, psychological first aid, etc., etc., throughout the year. Excuse me. So, importante to normalize. No? Two, gamitin nga natin yung PFA principle. Look around. Start looking around. Sino yung pinaka-vulnerable. When you help others, you're already doing PFA. When you act beyond kamusta ka na and ask, so how are you feeling about yung nangyaring ganito, ganyan? That is already practicing PFA. When you refer to hip-hop, that's already practicing PFA. Yun yung link part. So let's make use of all that. So let's normalize the conversation about mental health and start with ourselves. Tanggapin muna natin. Kung meron tayong mental health issues, it's okay. And we will seek help pagka may pinagdadaanan tayo.
Thank you, Doc. We have one last question, Doc. Paano po kaya mapapangalagaan ang lusog isip para makapagtrabaho ng maayos?
Okay. As you heard, no, yung first palang definition. Sorry, na-miss ko in my other lectures, sinasama ko pati definition ng health. No? Health to be holistic, no? So, kasama po ang physical health. So, pag pinag-isapan mental health, dapat kasama physical. Anong tinutukoy ko? In the first place, tama dapat ang tulog because sleep is very valuable, no? Pagka hindi ka natulog na mabuti, you're not going to be concentrating well at work. You don't have the energy to last the whole day at work. You will be irritable, so emotionally you're also affected at work. So, importante yung mga basics muna. So, structure, putting enough sleep, tama yung sleep time, tama yung wake up time, okay? Yung mga ginagawa mo within the day, okay? Yung time ng pagkain, huwag mong skip, importante yon, okay? And then, of course, kung hindi man kaya ng exercise, mahalaga na just increase your physical activity. Meron ho kaming, you heard I was former president ng PASOO, the Philippine Association for the Studies Overweight and Obesity. May isa kaming programa na we have been going around talking about. It's called SIPA, SIPA, Short Incidental Physical Activity. Ano po yun? So even if you're working from home, okay, or nasa office ka, no? Every hour on the hour, kahit tumayo lang, for just 3 minutes, stretch, etc., go to the CR, go back, basta 3 minutes, no? If you think about it, kung 8 hours tayo nagtatrabaho, times 3 minutes per hour, that's already 24 minutes per day, no? Times 5, okay? That's over 100 minutes in a week, no? So, ang laking bagay na nun. So even that, na-increase mo na yung physical activity mo. And that makes for good effect on your physicality, even your mental health. 2, sa mental health, be open, no? Sa lecture ko on resilience, no? As much as tayo na nag-work sa ospital, ready tayo tumulong sa iba o sa isa't isa. Pagka natin kailangan ng tulong, we need also to be open in asking for help. Okay? So yun yung self-care, no? Pagka nararamdaman mo you're overstressed, etc. Stop, pinaka-simple kung stress lang ang pinag-uusapan. Just go to a quiet place, kahit sa CR siguro kung and just do your deep abdominal breathing. Breathe into your nose, expand your abdomen, and then breathe out through your mouth, compressing the abdomen. Mga 10 to 15 counts, no? Or yung iba kong patients na na-anxious, na distress sa work, gumagawa sila ng punta sa CR, get cold water to splash on their face just to divert attention. No? We also encourage what we call mindfulness. Para hindi tayo natuturete sa napakaraming gawain, focus lang on the here and now. Ito lang nasa harap ko, siya lang ang kumukup-kup ng attention ko. Hindi yung mangyayari bukas or 1 year from now, hindi yung nangyari na yesterday or years ago. No? Focus on the here and now. That lessens our burden. Para ito lang ang because that gives us that sense of control. Kaya ko to. If it's mindful eating is nakafocus ka lang sa kinakain mo. Ano bang laman ng tiyan ko? Ay, gutom ako. So, eat, anong lasa ng food, and then as you bite, how does it feel, digesting, etc. Mindful sleeping naman is focus ka lang dun sa kama, yung pillow sa ulo mo, yung mattress mo sa likod, yung temperature, mas malamig kasi gabi, yung darkness, etc. I'm enjoying this. I had a long day, so deserve ito. No? So, yun ang mindful sleeping. And mindful working is focus lang kung ano yung tatapusin ko page by page or paragraph by paragraph, etc. Okay? That way, medyo mas in touch tayo sa sarili natin. And part of mental health, as I mentioned, pagka na-pick up natin na this is 2 months, nag-distress ako, etc. If on your own kaya, then you do self-care. Kung ano mang self-care na nakasanayan mo and has been effective in the past will still be effective right now. Kung hindi, and you need further help, we are open. We are ready to help you. Okay?
Doc, last question na daw. So what are the
Sure.
legal obligations of the employers regarding mental health problems in the workplace?
Well, kaya ko nga shinare yung Section 25 ng Mental Health Act na translate na naman ng civil service. Yung sa DOLE, mas gamay ko because they in fact asked me to work with them in drafting the department order. No? But I think yung civil service is similar. No? So ang sinasabi dun sa batas, if we are to base it on Section 25 of the Mental Health Act, ang sinasabi ay number 1, kailangan ang employers, all employers in the Philippines should have first a policy, okay? And then the policy is translated into a program, a mental health policy, and then it's stated as a program how it will be implemented in the workplace. No? Number 2, yun nga, sinasabi, aalsin ang stigma sa workplace, etc. Tapos, number 3, from at-risk pa lang, nagbibigay ng possible available services sa mga at-risk. And number 4, kung hindi lang at-risk pero meron ng mental health condition. Yun ho ang tawag sa mental illness sa batas, mental health condition. Bibigyan ng access. Hindi naman sinasabing gagastusan, etc. Because it understands that some companies may not be in a position. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng access is meron silang nakakonect, for example, na kung hindi nila kaya, government hospital that can provide the services for a mental health condition. So, in fact, parang it gives the gamut of mental health from detection, from policy, in fact, to detection to health, no? Whether it's at-risk or those with mental health conditions. So malawak po ang sinasabi ng batas sa responsibility ng employer. Actually, dun po sa mas marami pang detalye yon, including mga issues on confidentiality, issues on accommodations, pagbalik ng taong nagkaroon ng mental health condition, kung pwedeng bigyan ng accommodation, etc. etc. Marami pong detalye pa yung nasa bata.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tolentino. This is a very, very informative lecture. To everyone who participated, thank you po. Pasensya na to all the other questions. We medyo pressed po tayo sa time. Hindi na namin masasagot lahat. So, may I invite everyone to open their cameras so we can take a picture. Perhaps po, yung mga kayang magbukas ng camera nila, please open your cameras. And smile lang po, continue smiling lang po tayo pag picture natin. Ma'am Yvette, pwede po bang pa-picture kami?
Wait lang po, mama. Wait lang po.
Thank you po. Sige, smile lang po tayo. Continue smiling lang po, ha?
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Next po. Wait lang po.
Ngiti lang po tayo. Pakita niyo po yung magagandang mga ngiti ninyo.
1, 2, 3. Next batch.
Meron po tayong 8 batches. So, smile lang po. Hindi namin alam saan aabot.
Pa-open naman po ng camera, oh.
Yung iba, wag na po kayong mahiya. Buksan niyo lang.
Pa-open po ng camera.
Thank you po.
Next po. Open po ng camera. Teka po. 4 pa po. Open po.
4 na batch pa po tayo.
Po, tamikis. Tapat. Last po. Wait lang. Camera po. Okay po. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Tolentino, again. Po
Thank
dito.
you, everyone.
Salamat po. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat.
So everyone, please stay for a while. Meron lang po tayong announcement sandali. Maraming salamat po, Dr. Tolentino.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Meron lang po kaming konting announcement, everybody. So, this coming May 27, 29, we have, nakikita na po ba yung slide? Okay. So, ngayon pong May 27 to 29, we are inviting everybody who would like to join us. Meron pong ikakandak na basic training course ng Department of Psychiatry and Mental Health. This is the Internal Review Board on May 27 to 29 at the QMMC Auditorium. To those who would like to come and join us, please, lapit lang po kayo, punta po kayo dito sa Psychiatry Office or tawag po kayo sa aming local 5081 or you may message us sa Facebook Messenger po ng office. As well, we would also like to invite everybody to the Mental Health and Psychosocial Processing Training Workshop on June 25 227, also here at the QMMC auditorium. Okay. Ipa-flash ko lang din po itong ating ligtas na kanlungan. Serbisyong telekonsultasyon para sa mga manggagawang pangkalusugan ng QMMC. So, pwede niyo po kaming kontakin through the local 5081 or through Facebook Messenger na Quirino site po. Bukas po ang opisina ng ating psychiatry office mula 8 a.m. hanggang 5 p.m. Pwede po kayong magpunta dito or tumawag or magmensahe po. Maraming salamat po. And as well, please do not forget to answer the post-training report or the PTR. Posted po, we will be posting it sa chat box. Nakapost na rin po siya sa QMMCEA. And sa QMMCEA po, you may access po yung link. Pwede po doon. Pa-click lang po. And huwag niyo po kalimutang magsagot for the attendance. Thank you very much.